don't do it! In a grip! This stupid video I just showed you! I almost stroked out and died over it! You're watching a different show! You donkey! You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State, it's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. That's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. Notre Dame football plays tomorrow. And you're on a little winning streak. And you're starting to feel a little better about stuff. Like just a little bit. You're on a little winning streak. You went on the road, blew out Arkansas, ended a guy's coaching career, whatever. I want to know if you're a believer now. I want to know if you feel like you're rolling a little bit, gaining momentum, you got a little confidence, or is this all one big setup? Is it one big setup to pull you back in, get you feeling like you're in a little bit of a better spot? And then reality hits you again. Another home game in South Bend against a team you think you should beat, and it ends up being a stressful thing. And then they're all fighty because that's what they do. And nobody's scared to come to Notre Dame, and they play you tough, and you're sweating it out, and the defense struggles again. Or do you think Notre Dame's trending in the right direction here? And that offense is going to keep getting better and better and more dynamic. And that defense has turned a corner the last 6 quarters specifically. I'll give you the whole Arkansas thing. And then most of the second half of the Purdue thing, you're gaining some momentum. Do you think they're going to keep trending? Slip, that's an old reference, but I do appreciate it. I know that's good. That's good. It's an old reference, but I do appreciate it. I do see what you did there. So that's the question. And the other one, 17.5 when I started writing about this and doing it all was the spread. And then I think it went up over 20 now, 20.5. Is that a setup? And again, I have trouble judging Boise State just because of some of the competition. Like you got South Florida on there to open it up, but then you piled up all these yards and points against the Eastern Washington, the Air Force. And so I have trouble taking those stats and being like, they happened, but against who? I don't care how bad Notre Dame's defense is. It's got to be better than Air Force in Eastern Washington. So, I'm not exactly scared of those offensive numbers. I want to know whether you're getting bought back in here or if this is all a big setup and you're tuning in tomorrow with wait and see. Wait and see. Or do you got a little bit of confidence? That's what I want to know. So welcome in. It's a Feel Good Friday, you guys. We're going to get into this. Go over telling you what's really interesting to me. When I'm sitting here early and I'm setting up the show or whatever, hooking up everything I need to get this going in the morning, and I'm doing all that, I see the chats. And it's just really interesting to feel the vibe and see them coming in one by one before the show starts. It's a good gauge of where we're at. Before I say anything or whatever, I get to see where you guys are at. And it's very helpful to inform me. And there's a little bit of everything today. There's a little bit of everything. And crying belly, I'll be at the game, unfortunately. They usually suck when I go. That's the Notre Dameest thing of all time for a guy to be like, I'm going to the game, and it's a bummer. Oh, God, I love this show. The immaturity, man. It's something. I think it's me. I'm the island of misfit Notre Dame fans. Come here. It matches my personality. If you're a little quirky, come on over, man. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yachty out as well. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails Always Irish and at gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my face, nobody blames you for that. I don't want to see it either. The call-in lines, you know what they are. 312-900-8815. You dialed up, tell Uncle Yanni all you've heard and seen. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. I'm going to try and do a better job of realizing some people have like lives and jobs and work and obligations, and maybe try and mix some calls in earlier in the show than I usually do, just to try and keep things moving. I don't know. It depends how many people are waiting. I'm still trying to figure out a perfect formula for the call in. There's no easy way to make everybody happy. And so that's always something I'm playing with. And so I want to feel good about this. I don't know if we're getting set up or not. All right, let me get through the introduction. I want to feel good about it. I just don't. There's a part of me that has this little bit of anxiety, and I don't know if it has to do with it's Boise and that I respect them as like the little program that always gets written off, but they overperform. It doesn't seem, the other thing is it doesn't seem to matter who the coach is there. You've had multiple coaches and they still maintain that culture of we're the underdog and we're not afraid of anybody. We're going to go beat somebody. I think that's probably what I respect most about this program. They're always like the little engine that could, not from a Power 4 conference. Everybody questions who they play. And they have a culture of leaning into that underdog all the way back to Oklahoma 7 Fiesta Bowl, that underdog thing. I think that's what I respect about that program the most is they've gone through multiple iterations of coaching and coaching staffs. And they just keep that culture of like, go ahead and count us out. Call us the little guy. We don't play anybody or whatever. And then they play tough. They haven't beat a ranked team since 19, I heard, says Josh. Even if that's true, Josh, I have no reason to doubt that statistic. It's just, I think you got to circle it. It's different when I respect the program. I respect the program. That being said, I think it might be a tough time to play Notre Dame. And I'll get into that in a minute. I think it might be a tough time to play Notre Dame. And I'll get into what I mean by that in a second. Notre Dame on SI. Read all about it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. Promo code CAR. 10% off. Or 50% off. $10 rather. Jump in. The link's below. So first things first. I hope you guys saw the little promo video I put out for the USC tailgate. Anybody that watches Always Irish or on the Patreon or anything, you are invited. I hope you all saw it. I'll come out with more information with the map, an exact map. Everybody is invited. And it's not like my tailgates in the parking lot. This one is going to be in a quad. So like in the grass by Touchdown Jesus. I think it's set up by the university because I'm partnering with the ND Alumni Club of Orange County. So I think you get a big white tent that the university sets up just for your group in the quad. I'm going to have my flag flying. We're going to be there all day from like noon until the game starts. Everybody's invited if you're an Always Irish person. It is free for our people. So you get the catered Portillos. They got obviously a lot to drink. I even heard there may be a DJ. You could have some tunes. Johnny Boy might be out there cutting a rug. You never know what you're going to see, but you're all invited. So anybody that's coming already for USC, you could have a home base, a place to stay, or you could, if you're done with your regular tailgating and you're heading to campus, do it that way. People have been asking, what is the best parking situation? Where do I park to get here or whatever? I don't really think it matters. I don't really think it matters because this tailgate's in the quad. So it's not like you're going to be able to pull your car right by where this setup is anyway, because it's in the quad. No sea walking in the tent. Well, we might have to test that theory. And I'm with a bunch of California Notre Dame people. So if you can't sea walk out there for that, when can you? Anyways, the parking doesn't really matter. Like the easiest thing and the cheapest thing is probably going to be to go to the white lot. You pay $50. That's as cheap as it gets. You do the $50 or whatever. It's still a ripoff to park in an open field of grass, but it is what it is. Even 80 miles away in the white lot where you got to take a bus to get where you're going. It's $50. You're parking in a piece of grass. Anyways, I know. Get off my lawn. I'm an old man mad at the prices of everything. I know. I'm just saying. The easiest thing may be to just do the $50 for the white lot, take the bus, and the bus drops you right off in front of Touchdown Jesus. And then from there, you're 1 minute away from where the party is. So if you don't have other parking arrangements or whatever, just do that. Hop on the shuttle that's free, and free, I guess. The $50 probably pays for the shuttles. And then they'll drop you off right by Touchdown Jesus. You're in the quad and you just look for our sign and their sign and whatever. So that'll be the deal. That will be the deal. Angela says, I've seen Johnny dance way too many times. You've probably seen me cut more rugs than anybody else alive, Angela. God bless you. You've seen a lot. I had a couple people be like, man, I kind of feel bad that Angela had to sit through everything we were talking about Wednesday. Really inappropriate. Bro, she has seen in person a lot worse than anything we talked about on this show in the chat. So let me tell you that. She can handle it. When you go to college with me and Pat Cotter, she's seen a lot, okay? The white lot is old reliable. Yeah, you guys, I have good memories of the white lot. It kind of shows me kind of where this has all come from. Many years ago, we used to just go to games, sit in the white lot, drink a couple beers in a field in the white lot, have a cigar, go to the game, go home, whatever. And now every time I'm on campus, we're doing something. There's people to meet, parties to go to. I'm hosting one. I'm co-hosting one. There's a bunch of people to meet. Like, it's a beautiful thing. So, but I do have fond memories of the old white lot. And so it is, Great House is out. I didn't see that. Is he out? Interesting. I saw Moore was questionable. There's an argument to be made. You need Leonard Moore 100% or as close to 100% as you could get him for USC. And so you need to be smart about what you do with Leonard Moore and how you would like to think that you would be able to beat these teams leading up to USC without him. But you need to make sure he's as close to 100% for USC as possible. So obviously you can't lose a game before then. Like it's not a good situation, you guys. Let's just be frank for a minute. Now Leahy, he wouldn't be in this position. But let's be frank. You're in a bad spot. You can't lose any games. I need Leonard Moore. You can't lose any games between now and USC. I need Moore to be 100% for USC. So what's the right equation? I don't know, but you better figure it out. I don't know, but you better figure it out. So I don't know. John, have you ever signed a baby? I have not signed a baby. I will say this. Every tailgate, there's usually like a family where the dad watches me on the TV in the living room after the game or whatever. And there's always like a couple kids that want me to autograph something for them. It's really, really sweet that they think I'm somebody important because dad puts me on the live TV. How you got the smart TV. You can pull it up on the internet and then it looks like I'm on a TV show on your TV. And I got to say, it's pretty cute. And it does make me feel good. But there's one or two cute kids. It's like, will you sign my ad? Always Irish. Like, it makes me feel fancy. It really is sweet. And all it is the dad puts it on the TV and then the kid thinks I'm on TV. When really I'm just on YouTube in my basement yelling. Why is my camera moving? I don't like that. It's cutting off the top of the picture. My camera's moving. Camera's moving. All right. So that's the deal with the tailgate. Let's do a couple chats. I got a 567, a 415 are going to be the first couple up today. James says you need to be on TV. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I really don't. Somebody called Great House Mid House. That's funny. Very funny, you guys. Here we go. Swan Dong. Sorry I missed Wednesday. Had to get my dog put to sleep the other day. Before the show, I wasn't feeling right. Losing a dog is a unique pain that you couldn't ever explain appropriately to anybody that's not a dog person. Like we've lost multiple dogs over my childhood and adulthood, just to old age or whatever. It is a unique pain. And you sit there and you're like, bro, I'm like 40 years old. Shouldn't I have like other things I'm worried about or whatever? Then I'm being so depressed over my dog dying or whatever. But like in a weird way, it makes perfect sense. Like the way I look at it is even the people you care about in your life, you've done them wrong before. They've done you wrong, done something to hurt you or lied to you or misled you. Even the people you love and that love you. There's like always some scar tissue there. If you have a good dog, it's the purest relationship in the world, bro. If you're good to a good dog, they're good to you and they like loyal to you and they're always excited to see you when you come home. Unlike your family, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? That dog's always excited to see you come home. Can't say the same for the wife and the kids. You know what I mean? It's a unique pain when you lose a dog. And I think I told this story before. The last dog I had to put down, we put her down the morning after we lost to Ohio State in the championship game. And I knew it was coming and it was time. And I was hoping we could get through this season without having to deal with that, with all the emotion of the playoff run and the dogs dying. And you kind of knew it. Couldn't walk anymore, wasn't eating anymore. Like it was time, you know, you knew it that last week or whatever. It was finally time to put that dog down. And the timing ended up being the morning after the championship game. I'm going to tell you this. It ended up working in my favor because I was so completely devastated and my nerves and emotions were running beyond empty after we lost to Ohio State from the whole run of everything. I had no more emotion to give. I was a zombie and it was probably the best time to go do it because I was totally running on empty. I had no emotion. I had no nerves. I had nothing left. The tank was empty. And I was kind of a zombie going in there doing it. And it was maybe the best thing for me. And if we had won the championship, then I would have had something good. I would have had to put the dog down, but at least I would have had a championship to make me feel better. And I could have told her on the way out, at least the last thing you saw was us winning. Now you're getting put down. No, double loss. So anyways, I think that worked out in my favor that I had no emotions to give, but it is a unique pain and you could never explain it to some cat weirdo or anybody that isn't a dog person. They'll never get it. Jake, but God bless your dog. Apparently not maybe all of our dogs are wearing Notre Dame gear in heaven or something watching the game. Apparently not a ton of Boise fans coming tomorrow. Jay Carr says that. You would think that it would be a destination location for them, like not a regular opponent. You would maybe think that would be a destination. Also, though, maybe there's just not enough of them. Like maybe Boise just doesn't have the fan base like a Texas A&M or whatever, that there's enough of them to eat up a big chunk of tickets. To maybe that's the case, that it's very regional. I don't know. Here we go. Tex ND. I see the callers. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. Good morning, Johnny and the ND faithful. Need a big win at home against G5 team this week. Freeman's kryptonite. Cautiously pessimistic due to the defense moving forward, but optimistic due to the offense. Marcus Freeman needs to start defending Notre Dame Stadium better. Okay, like I understand, okay, you let Ohio State get away with 1 in 23, right? You had the tough A&M loss, whatever. it's those, but then it's the ones you can't afford to. It's Marshall, it's Stanford, it's Northern Illinois. You got to do a better job of holding down your home stadium if you're Freeman, and you got to figure that out. Some of it is sleepy opponent, day game in Notre Dame. Nobody's excited. Like, I don't know how much the vibe is responsible, but like, it isn't our fault. Like, if you started kicking ass against Northern and Marshall or whatever, then the fans would have been more in it. But when you're playing at like mediocre football in the middle of the day against a no-name opponent, you ain't going to get the crowd excited. I don't care how much that girl yells at you to get excited. But Freeman's got to do a better job of defending Notre Dame Stadium. That's a fact. Nikki Dean loves to be heard and seen. As long as they keep Ash's headset turned off, I think the D will be fine. It's the funniest image in my mind to picture Ash thinking he's running everything, talking into the headset, and it's on a different channel, bro. It's on he thinks he's calling everything, running everything, and he's talking. It's on a different radio wavelength. He's talking to the truckers on the toll road. But he thinks he's putting it all together. I love that mental image. What time does the game? 2:30 my time? Is it 3:30 their time? 2:30 our time? Andrew Gilmore. I'm still pissed about the Padres. Went out like a bunch of punks. Went to the last 2 games. Can I ask this? Baseball's dead to me, so I haven't watched any baseball all year till the playoffs, because it gives you some good sports in the middle of the week with these playoff games. I haven't watched any baseball this year. They're dead to me till the White Sox get serious. Am I wrong? Or is the wild card series, all the games are at the higher seed? Tell me if I missed something, but I felt like all those games were at Wrigley. Is there no, for the wild card, there isn't time for even one game at the opposition? Does the higher seed just get home field for the whole series? That's a big advantage, I think. I think it is. Andrew, I hope Indy covers and kicks ass on Saturday. Other than USC, the only way to impress is lopsided scores. Boise's much better than the fan base thinks. The South Florida loss was an aberration. You have all these worries, man. Number one worry is you can't lose again. Okay, well, that's a big undertaking already. You can't lose again, right? Had to win 10 in a row to even have a chance. Then you look at who the wins would be against, and then is that good enough? And then you got to blow everybody out while you're winning the 10 wins. And then you got to, I guess, hope Miami and A&M end up rising to the top of their conferences. Listen, Miami, I think, could do that, and I think they earned the win over Notre Dame. You gave one away against A&M. I think that defense is going to give up a lot of points in the SEC, and I have a hard time believing they're going to be like a top-end contender there. You gave that one away. Miami, I think, earned that win on Notre Dame. You gave one away by doing a bunch of stupid crap against A&M. I'll give Miami. I think they earned that one. We gave that one away. And with one loss, you're sitting what? 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, feeling beautiful about yourself. Nope. So then you got to win 10 in a row, kick the crap out of everybody 10 in a row, then hope the teams that beat you rise, and then hope other teams that they get ranked, and then you got to hope for everybody else to lose 3 games. We got a lot of flaming oops to get this where you want to go, people. Callers, I'm coming to you. I'm almost caught up with the chats. I'm very curious on how this defense will look. Did we turn a corner? Is it a fluke? I'm going to say this. At least the defense has a little momentum now and a little confidence now. And I think that matters. I think you play with the pep in your step when you have some good vibes in the tank and you accomplish some good. You come out and play better, have a little different energy. The defense should be feeling a little better about themselves after what they accomplished in Arkansas. And I know people are saying, and Goolsby saying, well, they dropped a couple open passes that would have been 80-yard touchdowns. I know. Sorry. What? Oh, okay. We got to take it. You got to take that. And then you convince yourself the reason they dropped that pass is we even gave the look we were going to get pressure and they rushed it a little bit. I don't know. When you're Notre Dame's defense, you take whatever confidence you can get, however you can damn get it. So I don't know. This is deep. The keys to the game are to win the game so you don't lose. I like that. That's deep, Nick. Even I can handle that one. More upgraded to probable. I think we should sit him if he's not 100%. We need him healthy against USC. You need that guy for USC. So I would like to think you could win these games without him, but like you need that guy. He cannot be hobbled or not out there against USC. That is the next circled flashpoint of if this has a chance or not is USC. Tex ND. Keys to the game. Turn Ash's headset off. Mikey pulls. Andrew, I think ND's schedule is too far gone to look good at this point. No matter what they do, they'll be the lowest ranked 2-loss team come playoff time. We got to hope for a lot of 3-loss teams. Even then, you're probably going to see an argument. Some of those SEC or Big Ten schedules with 3 losses are more respectable than Notre Dame's with 2 losses. And then who the wins will be against, you're going to have that whole argument. I don't know. All I know is you want to put yourself in a position to dare this committee to keep 10-2 Notre Dame out. When you know they like the TV ratings and the branding and everything, you want to do all you can to put the pressure on them to dare them to keep a 10-2 Notre Dame out. And if you have no wins against ranked teams and you lose to the 2 good teams you play and you don't make it, then I guess you made your own bed and you can lay in it and we'll watch the playoff from home and be pissed off all December and January. I don't know. But you get what you get when you start 0-2, regardless of who it's against. Commander, I don't have a problem playing weaker schedules, but they got to win the 1 or 2 against decent teams. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. Andrew, I'm cheering for Vandy. If they beat Bama, I don't want to hear how great the SEC is. It's a 3-star team. I'm also looking at Vandy and LSU coming up down the road too. I guarantee these SEC coaches hate the Vandy thing because for all those decades, you were so used to seeing Vandy and penciling a win in. And now Clark Lee's got that quarterback everybody loves. They got a little vibe going. It is no longer those SEC teams could just see Vandy and pencil in. Whew, there's a break. W. Nope. Not so fast, my friend. Clark Lee's doing a good job. Clark Lee going to get so many big bags thrown at him at the end of the season and well-deserved. Yeah, it's amazing what he's done there. I respect it a lot. Jay Carr. How about Nico? Wanted more money, goes to UCLA, then everybody gets fired. He tried to play the money game and lost. Well, I guess define losing. Everybody gets fired, but he still gets his money, right? So he gets the big bag. But when you have no support and you're going to maybe lose every single game, you got all that money, but you have no help to make you look good for the draft. Like if that's your goal, you got all that money in college and then you're out there, but everybody's fired and sucks around you. Where does that leave you? Right? Because then you're getting your money, but you're not increasing your NFL prospects because you have no help or anything. I don't know. Navy could be a ranked win or a loss that makes us absolutely lose our minds. It's way down the road, but am I supposed to enter that game with confidence Chris Ash is going to appropriately defend Navy? What would make me believe that? Serious question. What would make me believe Chris Ash is going to defend Navy appropriately? I don't trust that guy to do the Navy game plan or whatever. So that's for down the road with that. John, I think you got to respect the Boise program. And I do. They are what BYU used to be. And I do respect them. And you better be careful because they ain't going to be scared of you. They ain't going to be scared. $2 holler from my main man. The SEC is trash. Stop giving them so much credit. Yeah, you got to hope they all beat each other up and you get a bunch of teams with 3 losses or something in there, man. Right? Steven, 51-14, we destroy Boise. Oh, man. Big schnoz. It's not the Bama's Ohio States you have to worry about. It's the perception of 1 or 2 loss Indiana types that could bump into. I'm sorry, man. You had to get through the first 2 games 1-1, and then all this stuff wouldn't matter. And so if you go 10-2 and you don't make it, then I guess you learned a very tough lesson and you have nobody to blame but yourselves. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I know people are going to be mad if 3 loss teams get in above Notre Dame with 2 losses, but then it's like, well, who did you beat? If you don't have any rank wins and then who you lost to, and I'm sorry, I don't think Texas A&M is rising to the top of the SEC. I don't. And so I hope they do to prop up Notre Dame a little bit. But their defense was really bad against Notre Dame. And I just see some good SEC teams taking advantage. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think Kelly's got to match up with Vandy. Kelly's got to match up with Alabama. Kelly's got to match up with A&M. And I think he goes to Norman. There's a lot of things moving on that involve LSU, Kelly, and these teams here. I don't know. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Okay, here, let's go to the calls. Let me just say one thing first. Okay. I am hesitant to say this theory because it could blow up in my face tomorrow. I think this is a tough time to match up with Notre Dame right now. And the reason I'm saying that is I feel momentum building. This offense has been the hottest offense in America the last 2 weeks. Have you seen Joel Klatt? He had a YouTube video that said best quarterback in the nation and had a picture of CJ Carr. Like, you have the hottest offense in America the last 2 weeks. They're feeling themselves. And here's what I like about it. It's on the ground and through the air. It is my favorite part about all, other than Carr's ascension. My favorite thing about what the offense has been doing is the balance. You've been able to run the ball. You've been able to throw the ball. It's beautiful to see the way they're using both. I love it. It's exactly what we've been begging for 25 years is a Notre Dame offense that could truly test defenses on the ground and through the air. You're starting to get that. I love it. The offense is feeling themselves, looking for more. And the defense is, you got to say they're trending up a little bit. Good last 6 quarters, good last momentum, confidence builder against Arkansas. Keep eliminating each week. Eliminate some of those chunk plays. Eliminate some of those big gaps that you have on defense you've seen early in the year. Cut that down. The amount of chunk play. Like incremental improvement, I think, is all you're going to get out of this defense. You just got to hope they keep getting better and better little by little, week by week in these games. And so I need that to continue, and they should have more confidence and momentum than they've had at any point this year right now. I think it could be a tough time to play Notre Dame. Tough time to play Notre Dame with that offense the way it's going and that defense getting a little bit better each time. I think it could be tough to play Notre Dame right now. I feel Notre Dame rounding into settling in, settling down, and starting to find themselves a little more. So keep doing what you're doing with the offense. And then that defense, you gotta just keep getting a little better at things. Eliminate the big chunk plays, but keep it a little tighter in the run game. Maybe some of those zone defenses this week. Maybe you'll have a Notre Dame defender on the TV screen when they throw into those zones. How about that? How about that for a low bar? Can I at least have a Notre Dame defender on the TV screen when they throw it into one of those zones and a guy sits down in one of those zones? Can a brother get a Notre Dame defender on the screen for that? Son of a buck. On a Friday morning. SPF, I don't know if you're joking or not. I'll give you the statement win over Arkansas. I don't know if the statement might be they're really bad. Like, I don't know if that's a statement for you or against them. So I don't know. John, those zones are called ash holes. It's just driving me insane. Half the time they throw into those zones, there isn't even a Notre Dame defender in the picture. And you're like, yeah, that's what we're going with. This is going to win us the game. I can't understand it. For the life of me, I can't understand it. And the other thing I want to mention about this defense, too, then we'll go to the calls, I promise, is if your secondary guys caught balls thrown right to them, you are undefeated right now and ranked like 3rd in the country, even with the defensive other issues you had. Has anybody really thought about that? Has anybody ever thought about that? If you just had guys that caught balls thrown to them, you're undefeated and ranked like third, and you have defensive worries, but you have everything to play for, and you could get better and grow into it. Right? So I don't know, man. It's tough. You could play all that bad defense you've been playing, and if a couple of our secondary guys catch balls thrown right at them, you're undefeated. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I've been thinking about that since DJ Brown. I think about it all the time. I used to go back to Bush push and how close we were to tipping that getting our hand on that 4th and 9 throw down the sideline to Dwayne Jarrett. I used to pause the YouTube video with our guy's finger right there. Nope. Like DJ Brown, that freeze frame of him with the ball in his hands, couldn't come down with it. It's frustrating, man. Like, I don't know. These guys, did they have less ball skills than Ron Jeremy in his prime? I don't understand. Catch the ball when it's thrown to you. Change the game. You could be undefeated right now, sitting there. So, but you weren't. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It's just, it's rough. It's rough. Who was it? Brian, New York. Yeah, here's the frustrating thing with this, Brian. Here's the frustrating thing with this. Some of you got that joke. Here we go again. Here we go again. Brian, starting point with Carr was very high after all. The problem with that is yes and no. Because you're learning that the starting point with Carr could have been higher, but the offensive game plan against Miami wasn't built that way, and it's part of the reason you lost. That's the frustrating thing. So if you want to be like, oh, the fans thought it was a lower bar for Carr or whatever, yes, so did Denbrock, which is why you were throwing the ball sideways 80 times, right? And it's like, well, you couldn't throw it north-south because the offensive line wasn't going to be able to protect long enough or whatever. But I could get with this, that it seems like even Denbrock didn't have the Carr era starting at the level that it could have started at. So it's like one thing for the fans to think it, but the offensive setup you learned that I think Carr was capable of doing more against Miami than they thought. And it was an overly conservative plan for what Carr probably could have done. Nothing you could do about it now. Nothing you could do about it now. Yeah, Brian's saying that's on coaching, not Carr. Oh, yeah, I'm not putting it on Carr. Carr did everything he could. Carr did every single thing he could, man. Callahan, $2 force, Boise to spread you out and you win simple. I think they're going to try and run the ball, and you got to not let them run the ball and then make them throw it. Who are you rooting for, Miami or Florida State? I mean, don't you need – am I wrong, or doesn't it make perfect sense to want Miami to do as good as you could and win the ACC to make you look better? And then you would also give Florida State 2 losses and then they could drop down, right? Am I wrong in how I'm thinking about this? Don't we want Miami to win the ACC to prop up our loss? Here you go again. What's your biggest win? A close loss against a good team. That is such a lame place to be operating from. Who's your biggest win? A close loss? Oh, okay. Okay. So I think you want Miami to win to give Florida State the 2 losses, and then you want Miami to dominate the ACC. Right? So I think that's how you want to look at it. So I don't know, man. It's just it doesn't BYU play tonight. That's another team that Notre Dame should be watching, hoping they collect losses. It's just a weak place to be, man. Doing all this math that makes your losses look better. Ryan, I love hate watching. There's nothing more pure in the world than when you're in playoff position and you get a little cheat sheet of who you need to win and lose to make you look better. And then following that, after you have a win in the bag, there's nothing better than that. You're not really in that position now. You're desperate. So you got to collect your wins and then hope these teams you need, the experiment. You pull up the ESPN schedule for the day and then you go, I need them to win. I need them to lose. I need them to lose. I need them to win. All of it angled to make Notre Dame look propped up. That's the way it goes. All right, let's get into these calls. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. 567 to start us off. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up, John? How's it going? This is Domer guy.
Hey, what's up, Domer guy? I get what you're saying now. When you said the show was offline, I'm like, well, it hasn't started yet. It was the phone line I didn't connect. So you made perfect sense. My bad.
Oh no, that's all good, buddy. You put the phone number up initially, and you said something about predictions of the game, and then you said it was up like later on. So I didn't know. Maybe you didn't put the phone lines up when you put that number up the first time.
Yeah, we're all good to go now. Okay, so man, how are you thinking about all this? Like, I want to know what you think about the Boise game specifically, and then where Notre Dame's sitting overall, if you have thoughts on that.
Okay, so you want me to start with Boise? Okay, so
yeah.
I think Notre Dame shouldn't have any trap games given the circumstances. I think Marcus Freeman should have it beaten in their heads by now that the season's on the line, and I think that he has, right. I think he does a pretty good job at that. For some reason, we struggle in September under Freeman thus far.
Yeah,
and he kind of gets them back. Losses help this team almost. I don't understand it, but it does. It puts them up against the wall, and I think the up against the wall mentality this team kind of feeds off of.
See, I've been saying I keep hearing and seeing the headlines of how good Notre Dame Freeman teams bounce back after brutal disappointment. My argument is the next step of this program needs to be to not have to do that. To get halfway through the year and you're in great playoff position for once or something. That needs to be the next step to give yourself margin and leeway to not have to be perfect for 11 weeks to even have a chance. That's got to be the next iteration of this.
Yeah, well, it's just a shame how the schedule kind of got put together this particular season, because you have your two toughest games week 1 and 2, and I think we need to take a second and really give Texas A&M credit, because they really did put together a hard feat to do, because Notre Dame had a bye week in between that game, and Notre Dame is kind of thinking their season's on the line then, right? So Notre Dame threw the kitchen sink at Texas A&M at home, and Texas A&M escaped with a win. That's a pretty big deal, because Notre. You there, John?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got it. I don't know what happened. I'm
okay.
there.
Okay, so what do you think about? I give a lot of respect to Texas A&M for going into Notre Dame Stadium and beating them.
Yeah,
I was there, by the way, and that was the most brutal loss I have ever experienced live. It was awful. And by the way, you were talking about the gold.
A lot of them. That's a hell of a record.
You were talking about the gold and the white lots. Waiting in those lines are just terrible in general, but especially after a loss. After that game, it was kind of crazy getting out of the stadium, and it was dreadful.
I'm gonna tell you this, with it being like the toughest game you've been at, there's a lot to choose from too, from the upsets of teams you shouldn't lose to the heartbreakers against good teams, from Bush push to Ohio State, whatever it is. There's been a lot to choose from. And then the other thing is with the bus and everything from the white lot, I would always take the bus in. And then when I leave, I would try and walk it, man. It's a long walk, but if you know where you're going, you could take some shortcuts and shave an hour off and be out on the toll road before everybody waiting in line. But it is a long walk at dark and between trees and around buildings. I've done it before to avoid that.
Yeah. That's actually not a bad idea, because you're probably going to get to the white lot before you would waiting on those buses.
Yeah,
we were waiting for like an hour for the buses after A&M.
Here's the other problem, man. Here's the other problem. If Notre Dame's winning by a lot and you don't mind missing the running out the clock, you could get early on those buses before the game ends. That's a winning option. But a game that goes down to the last second, you can't leave early. So everyone's leaving at the same time. So you can't really get out of it that way.
Yeah, that's actually what we did last year. We went to the Stanford game last year, and we seen that the weather was coming. And I don't know if you remember or not, but the game got delayed during the Stanford game last year.
Yeah.
And we left before it got delayed, and yeah, it worked out perfect. and we were winning we were up big anyways. But
yeah, so there is no. And then the other problem, I don't want to make this all about parking. Here's the other problem, man. I refuse to park in the stadium or the joy slots for an actual game because you're literally stuck in there an hour and a half not moving just to move a foot to even try and get out of there. I'm not doing it. I've been given free passes to park there. I'm not doing it. I did it for one game one time, and it was Stanford 2012 overtime. Couldn't leave early. I was in the parking lot an hour and 45 minutes just to get out. I don't have the patience. I'm not doing it. I'll never park in there. Blue and gold is different because it's not as crowded, but I'm never doing it for regular game. I hate it. I don't have it in me to sit there.
Dude,
I can't do it.
Dude, last thing for parking, but what year was it? The Bush push, was it 04?
05.
05. So 05, I went up to when Tennessee had Eric Ainge. You remember that game?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I went up for that game, and that was actually the best parking experience that I ever had at Notre Dame because I just paid somebody $10 to park in their yard.
Yeah.
And it was right next to campus. Went and got in the car, and we were out within 10 minutes after the game ended. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And so anyways, back to the game. What do you make of it?
Yeah. So I don't trust Notre Dame yet. I don't, and you're going to kind of think I'm crazy with what I'm about to say, especially about the offense. So I don't trust the offense. I don't trust the defense. So my logic is with the offense, I think it's only a matter of time before we have an off game on offense. Don't you?
Now that's interesting. That's interesting. I wrote an article late last night, and I always do 2 articles for SI going into a game. One of them is confidences in Notre Dame, and one of them is concerns for Notre Dame. On the concerns list, I had what happens if the offense has an off day or Carr as one of those rookie clunkers where the timing's off. He's just out of rhythm. Couple balls get tipped and intercept. Like it all goes against you, which could happen to a rookie quarterback sometimes. I asked the question, will the defense be able to support Notre Dame if they have one of those clunker days on offense? I want to think they're getting so good now on offense, you're not going to have it, but you got to be on alert for it because it's rare for a quarterback to do nothing but trend up for 12 weeks in a row. It would be very rare.
Very rare. Very, very, very rare. And I remember Andrew Gilmore mentioned something about freshman quarterbacks at the beginning, before the season even started. And he was talking about how rare it was for freshman quarterbacks to win a national championship. And it's in the same wheelhouse as Trevor Lawrence. And
yeah.
I can't remember who else he named, but Carr is outperforming the guys that he mentioned. He's outperforming Trevor Lawrence when he won a national championship in his freshman year.
Yeah.
And if he continues to do that, I'll be surprised.
And
I will be impressed, and I will be surprised.
Here's the other thing that's impressive about it is he's been doing it with almost no support from the defense. At least those Clemson teams had a really good defense and offense that like it's more impressive to me that Carr's been doing it where our defense getting run up and down the field early in the years. I mean, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I 100% agree.
Okay. So what do you make of overall? If Notre Dame goes 10-2, are we left out and frustrated because you're not going to have many good wins and whatever else? Or what do you think could happen here if you do run the table?
All right. So I'm going to go on a little spiel here. So because I wanted to talk a little Notre Dame college football playoff, so I'm glad you brought it up. So I'm seeing debates with a lot of people about how at 10-2 Notre Dame ain't a lock. Okay. And while I technically agree with they're not a lock part, okay, hear me out. Notre Dame plays 10 Power 4 opponents. Second, let's say that Notre Dame plays arguably the top 2 teams in the group of 5, which you can arguably say that Navy and Boise are in that wheelhouse. Okay, so now even if Boise State don't finish the season 10-2 and ranked, which in my opinion, I think that could very well happen, and they could be winners of the Mountain West Conference. And let's say, and even if Navy don't finish 11-1 and winners of the American and ranked at the end of the year, which is debatable, and SC isn't ranked, which is also debatable, okay? Even if none of that happens, Notre Dame would still have more Power 4 regular season wins than, let's say, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Penn State, Indiana, Texas Tech, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, et cetera. The list goes on and on. I want to say 80% of the top 25 only have 9 Power 4 teams on their regular season schedule. So aside from OSU, Michigan, Bama, and some conference champs, ND would have more Power 4 wins under its belt. And I personally think ND is in at 10-2. It's not a lock, but I think they're in. Just beat Boise. Just beat Boise. Pay attention to what's in front of you and just beat Boise. Because I think the Power 4 wins, the 10 Power 4 wins, is good enough because nobody else is doing it.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Dude, am I dreaming or is the phone line cutting out?
It's kind of cutting out a little bit.
All right. I'm having problems. This call-in line's been finicky the last couple weeks. I'm glad I got you. I'm going to have to do something because it's bugging me and annoying. And I had that problem turning on the post-game show last week, and that's why it was delayed, and it was really bugging me. I don't know how this committee's going to look at it. And then it also depends on what happens around Notre Dame. You know, what do you end up with a clump of teams with 2 and 3 losses at the end?
And then hear me out here too, John. What you just said, along with everything I just said, eye test matters a bunch. And let's say Notre Dame does continue to play like they're playing. Dude, they are passing the eye test. They look incredible.
Yeah.
And let's say the defense steps up and grows on top of it, which is debatable. I don't know if that's going to happen, but if I think they pass the eye test. I think they have 10 Power 4 wins, and I'm making a case for them because a lot of people want to compare Notre Dame to Bama last year, right? Well, Bama had 3 losses, and they were kind of 3 bad losses, and a couple of them happened at the end of the season.
Yeah,
that's not the same thing with Notre Dame this year. Notre Dame, it would have happened the first 2 weeks of the season, and Notre Dame would have rattled off 10 straight. So I almost think like those losses would have been forgot about, and the schedule is going to be forgiven.
Here, the question I have is, if Notre Dame runs it and wins 10 in a row, and later in the year other teams catch their second loss, does Notre Dame pass them because you get penalized theoretically for later losses more than earlier? Like, how will that work?
See, I think there's going to be more 3-loss teams. I think there's going to be more 3-loss teams than people are expecting. I think there's going to be some 2-loss teams, but I think there's going to be 4 or 5.
Yeah.
3, 4 or 5 3-loss teams, and Notre Dame's going to get in over some of them 3-loss teams. In my opinion,
it's going to be really interesting. Hey man, thanks for giving me a call today. Really good call to start us off. Appreciate you.
Hey, no problem, buddy. Go Notre Dame.
Yeah, good call to start. Bro, I'm starting to wonder if there's a wire from the mixer, and then there's an adapter between that wire that goes into my phone that I plug in to dial into the call-in lines. I'm wondering if that adapter middle thing is starting to go out because it's starting to get on my nerves. I'm going to have a crash out if it happens again. I don't like technical difficulties. My brain's already a technical difficulty. I don't need any wire problems. Unbelievable. How about somebody we haven't talked to in like a year? 845, what's going on? Adam, you're coming up after. What's going on, 845?
Hey, Johnny, what's up? This is Liam. I'm also Big Nose in the chat.
Oh, good. It's good to have you here, Big Nose. Thanks for calling. It looks like we haven't talked since right around the championship game. There's been a lot of Notre Dame in between. What do you make of where we're at? Where do you want to go with this?
You know, your last caller was great. I agree with what he says about, and I actually didn't remember it, that Bama took 2 losses that were bad at the end of last year. But I do think, touching on what you said earlier, you can only blame yourself. If you got 2 losses early in the year, even if they were close losses and, you know, one was away from home, you got to figure out a way to split those games.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. You always were looking at this saying 2-0 and you're in an unbelievable spot. 1-1 even is manageable on the worst case. I'm telling you, the A&M game really, really hurt. I felt that Miami earned that win over Notre Dame. And I know A&M played tough, but like I felt like we gave them that one. It really, really hurts. You can't afford that loss, especially when you're an independent Notre Dame. The back half of the schedule is light and you have no conference championship to help.
I think that Miami is going to end up winning the ACC, or at least it looks like that right now.
Yeah.
But the A&M loss hurts a little bit because what if they go 8-4? If they don't go 10-2, then that doesn't even look like a good loss.
Yeah, their defense worries me. And I'm not impressed by their defense. For all the Elko is a defensive guy and all that, I'm not that impressed by their defense physically. And I have a hard time seeing them rising to the top of the conference. If they do, I'll be impressed. Maybe they improve the way we want Notre Dame's defense to improve. But I don't know, man. It really hurts. You put yourself in this position. If you're 10-2 and miss it, you get what you get. You can't lose your first two games. I don't care if they're both against the 85 Bears. You can't start out 0-2 and complain.
No, and I think keeping all that in mind, you have to beat USC and then hope somehow USC wins out. You want them to end up 10-2 at the end of the year too, because at least it would be a quality win. And perhaps the same thing with Navy, right? You want Navy to go 11-1.
Yeah, listen, you got to get through these next three games and get to the next bye with the two losses. I'm telling you, man, I have anxiety about Chris Ash preparing for Navy. I could just see, I don't trust the guy to appropriately put together a plan to defend Navy, given what I've seen. It's down the road and we have more emergent concerns right now, but I'm nervous about that.
There was like that 3 years or that 3 times in 5 years where we lost to Navy. I think twice under Kelly and twice under Charlie Weiss and once under Kelly. They had this one quarterback, I forget his name. It might have been Demp, but he ran all over those Charlie Weiss teams. And then, of course, you have to deal with the team is banged up the week after that, right? What do we look like after all those blocks?
Yeah, it's on my radar as something I'm really going to be nervous about. But you got to get through the next few games, which are very unique challenges. Boise's a unique challenge. NC State's going to try and muddy up the game and slow it all down in the way they do. And then you have the big matchup against USC's offense. Like, you got to get through that before I worry about Navy. But I don't know, man. It feels like Notre Dame's trending up, but I don't know if everybody's buying in on that or if it's still wait and see.
I think with the defense, you have to be happy with, if you're winning by 40 points and your defense is only giving up in the teens or 20, then you have to be satisfied with the baby steps there, because they're not going to turn into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of 2001 overnight.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
You have 7 months of bad habits, right? 7 months of bad habits. How do you eliminate those bad habits mid-season?
Yeah, it's incremental improvement, right? Like, isn't that where you're at? Just get a little bit better.
Yeah.
There's a lot of confidence, though. I'm telling you, the Notre Dame defense should feel really good after that Arkansas game. That was an offense putting up a lot of numbers, and they didn't against you. You can build off that, man. You can really build off that.
I mean, the haters will say, "Oh, they're a terrible team." I don't remember Notre Dame beating someone into the ground so bad that they fired their coach the next week.
It's like, I mean, they did a good job, and it's so unfortunate you have the two losses. With one loss, the vibe of all this would be so completely different, but the two losses are hurting.
Right. Johnny, I'm going to let you go. I have to go back into work right now. I'm a history teacher, but I just want to say I love your show. Thank you so much for what you do. I don't get the call too often, but I hope to one day make one of your tailgates, hopefully during a Notre Dame win.
Yeah, I that would be great, and we'll have those opportunities. And of course, blue and gold is always a very casual opportunity for a tailgate too. So, but we'll stay in the loop, man. And thanks for calling. Try and not make it once every 9 months.
I'm actually coming for the NC State game. I know you won't be there, but I'm coming home in about 10 days now.
That'll be great, man. Enjoy it.
Okay. Thanks, Donnie.
Safe travels. Man, we got nice callers around here. We got nice callers. There will be Slick Rick from the SEC. there will be multiple 10-2 teams that don't get in the playoffs. And so then if Notre Dame was in a pile of 10-2 teams, then you're going to have to look at who you lost to and who you beat. And I don't know where Notre Dame's going to fall in that. Or does Notre Dame get the big brand benefit of the doubt? Like if you're an 11 or a 12 seed and there's a Notre Dame and you know it's going to bring the TV ratings, do they find a way to say it's about how Notre Dame's playing now, that they've won 10 in a row and they're trending up one of the better teams in the land now? I don't know, but it's going to be hard to complain if you lose your first 2 games because you can't play any defense to be arguing you deserve to be in this season. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's tough. It's real tough. 847, what's going on? Adam, call back if you can. I saw you dropped off. What's going on, 847?
Hey, John, it's Dylan. I called you last week. First and foremost, just wanted to say, CJ Carr roasted the hog, like I said, and I was just wondering if first you could give me a that's right.
That's right. Hey, man, I'll tell you, my line has been he's playing like a 4-year quarterback, not a 4-game quarterback. Notre Dame really is building something there with that offense. You just need to get the defense to match.
100%, John. I think just to address some of the stuff we've been talking about, I know I have anxiety about the rest of the season. And you said that in the beginning of this call today, this show. I think where it's really going to be proven for me, I think we have a very good football team. But to take it to that next level, I'm hoping we've made some adjustments on defense. That's the key, right? USC is going to be that game for me personally, because as much as USC struggles as a team, offensively, they are very solid.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can hold up against that passing attack, it will prove to me that, hey, maybe we've made some adjustments,
Yeah, it is. I hope so. It's just, isn't it the most Notre Dame thing of all time, though, that like right when you get an offense that you approve of and is doing all the things you want on the ground and through the air, and you have a quarterback that can make the throws and everything, then the defense becomes a worry every week. It is the most Notre Dame-iest thing of all time that the defense falls back right when the offense takes a big step forward. It's so frustrating.
Oh, I could not agree more. Like just the typical Notre Dame not firing on all cylinders at one time. And I just think that part of it is, like, I'm not saying I expect to have as good of an offense this season as last season, but if we were just able to get somewhere in between where we're at now and last season, it'd make a world of a difference. And I guess one of the things, John, I've been trying to find online, I was wondering if you knew about it, is what's the latest on Charles Jagasaw? Because I know we talk a lot about defense need to improve. Well, your first 2 games, you played a really good D-line in Miami, and Jagasaw may be your best talent-wise. And you lost by a combined 4 points in the first 2 games. Like, is he worth 4 points plus at that position? Could we have used him against incredible D-lines? And I hate injuries that are just, with these guys getting paid these days, I get they're young, but ATVing, come on,
It's tough. Not good news. Had a setback, and he's going to be done for the year. So not good news.
So we get him. So we get to keep him next year. Is the story.
I just, all I know is he was recovering good. He was out of the sling or whatever, and then he had a setback. He's back in it on the shelf for the year. So you got to get him healthy. And then somebody remind me, what that does for the eligibility another year or whatever. But I believe he's just count him out for the year.
And then another card has talked about this, but with the, CJ Carr having an off game, I get all that, right? Like I get people worried about that. What I will say to that is what's different a little bit is, if CJ's struggling, you got 2 of the best freaking running backs in the country run the damn ball a little bit more, right? And because he's in, people will watch tape and say, this guy's an elite passer, we got to focus on shutting down the pass. That threat enables the run to open up more. So I think in one of those off games, it's A, to your point, the defense has to step up, but B, you have the ability to rely more on the run. And then C, where this leads into my final point here is, CJ Carr is going to have a ton of hype probably most likely going into next season. We're all going to be excited because of how he's likely going to finish this year, and especially if it continues on. But I will say one thing that kind of concerns me about next year is it really does help when you got guys like Jadarian Price and Love that throw and run the ball to, combined with a guy like Malachi Fields in the receiving core we have. I just think next year it would be huge if somehow we could pray that Jadarian Price returns. I love what we have in the backfield behind those guys. It probably won't obviously be at that level with Love and Price where they're at now, but hopefully pretty good. But we need to still surround him with weapons at the receiver position, replace a guy like Fields with a good receiver, and have other guys to throw the ball to help elevate CJ.
It is incredibly frustrating that you have the best 1-2 combo at running back and you feel like you've kind of wasted what that final year of having both of them would be with the early losses. It's super frustrating. And then I've already seen the debates of like, Love's going to be gone, probably a top 10 pick if he remains healthy. What do you have to offer Price to have him come back and be like, you're the number one guy, and, we're going to give you a huge amount of money to be our number one guy? Not a 1A and a 1B like it is now, but more like you're the dude. But it is frustrating that this is the last year you're going to have both of them, and you're in a rough position to do anything with it. It's tough.
Yeah, so you don't think there's a chance? Is there any chance that, from what you've heard, that we get Price back, or do you think that we're out of luck there?
Yeah, I think there is a chance. He's got to do the calculation of an NIL deal versus a rookie deal, and then how many more hits do you want to take as a running back? They always say you have a set amount of hits in college and the pros as a running back. Do you want to use some of those coming back to Notre Dame on a big NIL deal, or try and go to the league? There is a chance you get Price back if you offer him a big old fat NIL deal and make him the guy.
Love it. Love it. All right, John, I'll let other guys get on the phone here, but appreciate all that you do as always. And thank you so much.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. Call again. Oh, we are really nice callers, man. You guys are nice. $10. Everybody's so pleasant. $10 holler. It is truly week-to-week season. Buckle up, stay healthy, enjoy each game, beat Boise. And for the Aggies, beat the hell out of Mississippi State. Playing a little better than I think people thought they would this year, by the way. Mississippi State. Mississippi. I'm more skeptical about A&M's offense. Well, that's the other thing, too. A&M's quarterback, I think, is a better athlete than he is quarterback. And I know that comes off as an insult, but I think you're going to know what I mean. I think he's a much better raw athlete than he is a quarterback, if that makes sense. So I don't know, man. It is, I don't know. And then here's the other thing too, with CJ Carr's ascension, you would like to think, how could this not help wide receiver recruiting when now you can actually offer a highlight film of Notre Dame's quarterback whipping the ball all over and getting the receivers involved downfield and all that? Like, it's got to help, right? And here's the other thing I'm telling you, you need to do. If you need to just put aside $1 million or $2 million to go get the highest rated transfer portal wide receiver, feel free to do that. And those guys should want to get the ball thrown to them by CJ Carr. I sincerely put some money aside and go get the next Malachi Fields, because look at what a big difference it's made. Not only to get his big body in here, but you got a quarterback that can use it. You got a quarterback that can use it. You know what I mean? Main man, what's going on? I know you're out there. You are working, man.
Hey. Johnny, how are you, buddy?
What's going on?
Hold on. I'm not much. Just got six guys trying about one thing, man. I'm just kind of getting their ass, but anyways, there's worse things in the world. How are you? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm actually excited to see Notre Dame play tomorrow. I think Notre Dame's trending up, and I'm excited to see what they put on the field.
Well, yeah, man, I'm excited too, and the reason why is, we're at 500. You know what I mean? So it's basically, we're at 500, so we're not 0-2. We're not 1-2. We've gotten there, and the job now is to stay going, moving forward week by week. You know what I mean? The way he's got to look at it Look, and I'm not going to talk too much about playoffs, man, because everybody has, and we haven't even gone past Boise State, right? Last year we get off an amazing win off Texas A&M, and we couldn't look past NIU. We looked past NIU, and you've seen what happened, obviously.
Here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to ask.
Okay.
You are one of the main guys that talks about Boise State's culture and the kind of guys they have, and they're out in your part of the woods there in America out there. And you've talked about Boise. So what do you make of the game tomorrow?
Okay, that's what I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I just wanted to touch on. Man, up here in the Mountain West, bro, we're three things, man. We're not Hollywood. We're all that. We're rough, rugged, and raw, baby. We're the 3 R's. Boise State, known giant killer, brother, obviously. And then that coach, if you've listened to that coach speak, and to get a little bit off topic, he's like Marcus Freeman. He knows that life ends after football. So those kids really believe in that coach. And that Boise State team, year in, year out, where they go 8-3, 9-4, or a BCS buster or a giant slayer, they're ready to play, man. They got that old school snot nose. Get to the ball, bite the ball with your helmet, rip it out, man. Put somebody's dick in the dirt, wrap up, and slam them down. That's why they're so good. And that coach, man, also that coach, you hear a story about one of those kids going and he's a big believer in his faith is in Christ. And you hear about one of his star D tackles last year, Deanne, converting from Islam to Christianity, obviously. And I say this because they ask him how come. And he says, man, my coach is just so amazing. He just, these kids love playing for that dude. And I watched the interview that he had. Man, I wanted to play for that dude. And the things he had to say about Marcus Freeman and the Notre Dame football program, class act, man, all the way, John. And so, I mean, you got a high-powered offense. I'm just like you. I'm excited to see the Irish, man. I'm excited for this one in the Mountain West. I'm even more excited next year when they come here. But I think it's going to be a great game, man. The original giant killer against the most storied tradition program in college football history. I think it's going to be a great one, buddy. What about you?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So let me ask this.
Go ahead.
Is Notre Dame's defense on the rise? Do you think they're just going to keep getting better? Or do you think that this is still a week-to-week adventure and the bottom could fall out? Or have you seen enough to start thinking they're trending in the right direction?
No, they are, John. They are. I think I think Boise State's going to present that to them. You know what I mean? I think with a little bit better of an opponent this week, that it's going to make them really search deeper into whatever adjustments they made between Purdue and Arkansas. I think that it's going to start to show just a little bit more. And you know what? This team might just be one that happens to peak more and more at the end of the season, man. But I think for me right now, man, I just want to watch it week to week. You can't, like I said, look, Johnny, and I'm going to leave you with two things. There's a reason why you got a lot of professionals coming out of these teams in the Mountain West, man, and legends. Like I said, we're rough, rugged, and raw up here, brother. We get it. Okay? Yeah. And so I want them to get past Boise. I don't, man. Like Boise, the tradition up there, the people are good. It's a well-coached team with a well-coached, and a good culture that they have up there that they've created since they beat Oklahoma. And this coach that they have is amazing. And then, but listen, because I know we had a mathematician on there. They were all in math class. So this is the only topic I'm going to touch on, this about playoffs and this, man, the SEC. Okay, so here's a little math class for you guys. In the last 20 years, okay, you only had 3 teams in the dog shit SEC win 10-win seasons, 10+ years. Notre Dame has had 10-win seasons in the last 20 years. Notre Dame has had from 2005 to 2025. Notre Dame has had 10. That's you know what I mean? That's 10 10-win seasons. Okay, in the SEC, Ole Miss one year. Ole Miss, 3 10-win seasons. Mississippi State's 1-win season, a 1 10-win season. Arkansas, 2 10-win seasons. Auburn's 4 10-win seasons. Vanderbilt, 0. South Carolina, 3. Texas A&M and Mizzou, that I really don't count. They've always been Big 12s. 1 for Texas A&M, 4 for Mizzou. Boise State, 14 10-win seasons in the last 20 years. So this whole credit to that dog shit ass conference that only has 3 teams and plays 3 junior high teams. It's got to stop. And you know what? I was against NIL, but I'm for NIL now because it pulls the covers on these dog shit ass wannabe tough guy conferences like the Big Ten and the SEC. And the Big Ten had Ohio State. I'll give Kent this and the Ohio pod and our friend that calls in that's the Ohio State fan who's awesome. I'll give him this. Ohio State is the one team in the Big Ten that shows up anywhere, whether it be the Rose Bowl, whether they go to Oregon and they show up, whether they come to our place, they show up. I will give the Buckeyes that, man. You know what I'm saying? But Johnny, there's some numbers for you guys in your whole, if the 9-3 SEC teams get in, they don't deserve to. They don't. They absolutely don't because they play 3 junior high teams and half of their teams are dog shit. There's the number for you. Johnny, it's going to be a great game, brother. Keep my little baby niece in prayer. She's a big fan of you, Johnny. Obviously, I told you what happened.
I got you. I will. I got somebody working on getting a grotto candle lit as we speak, bro.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, sorry to come off a little fiery, but I've been listening all week, man, and it's Mountain West week, you know, and I live up here, and I just don't want to look past Boise State. I believe that the Irish can go 10-2, but we got to take it one game at a time, brother.
There you go.
I love you, Johnny. Onward, Notre Dame.
Onward, Notre Dame. Enjoy the rest of your work day. Nobody's ever called and been like, I'm sorry to get fired up on these call lines. Come on, man. What do you think this is around here? Math. Dude, math is so... Here's the problem I always had with math. 417 coming up. The problem I've always had with math is in school, like in high school or whatever, the problem is all the lessons build on I was thinking about this. I've just been haunted that B I got in math, the only B I've ever gotten. And the problem is in college, at least, the math always builds on the previous lessons. And the issue is you can't be like, well, this is a little confusing. I don't get it, but we'll move on and then I'll get the next thing. It all builds on the previous lesson. So once you're lost and confused, when they add steps to where you got lost and confused, you're screwed. That's the problem. If it's like history, you learn a totally different thing every week or whatever. But when it's math, you just can't. It all builds on what you already lost on. Hate math. And the other part is, do they think I'm like a molecular NASA engineer, something in training? I've never run into one piece of math I couldn't do on a calculator in 2 steps. All this, all of these magic equations with all these symbols and logos I've never heard of. There's never been any math I can't type in my iPhone. What is this divided by this? What is a percentage of this? I can type it all in my phone without these big equations. Stupid ass math messing up my life. Oh, man. Yeah, all the rest were C's. Oh, that's good. How about 559 on the line? What's going on, baby?
What's up, John? You caught me. Perfect timing, my boy. I had to come out real quick because there's a couple stuff that's going on, and I said to my superintendent, there's 2 things I cannot do. One, miss anything that has to do with my family or my son's events, and second, and most importantly too, as well, is Notre Dame football. Notre Dame plays tomorrow at 12:30. I'll work until 11 o'clock, and I'm going home to watch my game. I'm not going to miss that for a damn thing. Because you know what? This is Mountain West time, my boy. This is a Valley time. This is where the Fresno State Bulldogs show why we can stomp on Boise State all the time, and Notre Dame got nothing to worry about. We just handle our own business, guys. We just run that ball, and we'll show them why you don't play with the big boys. That Oklahoma stuff, that was 20 years ago, boy. Miss me with that, my boy. This is Notre Dame football. This is smash mouth football. This is where you run the ball down the throat and you show them why they don't play with the big boys. The big boys are about to slip that air all day, every day. Just give the ball some love and give the ball some pride, and we got this, right? And let's just stay focused. Stay humble. And after the game, you shake their hand and tell them thank you for taking that ass whooping. See you next year. Simple as that.
I like it. I like it a lot. So you're going the other way. You're trying not to give Boise that respect and saying you ain't in a big boy conference.
Man.
We ain't letting you pop up on us.
Hey, my boy, I'm telling you, boy. I mean, I'm all for, don't take the opponent lightly and all that. I'm with you with that. But you know what? This is the big boys, my boy. You don't show, man, this is disrespectful time, my boy. You show respect after you get that ass whooping. Until then, miss me with all that, my boy. This is Notre Dame football. You want to play with the big boys? You're about to find out. You're going to know what 4 quarters is. Get your ass kicked. Football is all about. And welcome to South Bend and take your pictures after the bruising you take, my boy.
All right. So then I am to believe that you think Notre Dame's defense is on the rise and they're going to put together a decent performance tomorrow. Do you think they're over the hump after the last 6 quarters of football they played, or what?
You know what, John? I've never doubted Marcus Freeman, and I'm not going to doubt him now. I believe.
Okay, what about Chris Ash? Fine. What about Chris Ash?
Man, look, that guy has a lot of truth to me, but I believe that Marcus Freeman is his boss, and he doesn't want another ass chewing from his boss. Yeah. I know I don't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do what my boss says. So I believe Chris Ash already knows what's up. They ran a game on him already. You know what I mean? They put him on notice. Either you get your ass together or get your ass out. It's that simple. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You run what we want you to run, and you follow the rules. If you don't, then get your, miss me with that, sign your check, have a nice day, see you never again. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see from it. But I believe that as long as our program is under the leadership of Marcus Freeman and People Locka, we have great institution that this is no reason to doubt Marcus Freeman. And I saw that in the press conference when he said, this was a very, uncomfortable conversation. And I love the fact of that. Because you know what that means? That means that Marcus Freeman grabbed the bull by the horns and not by the ass, my boy. He straight up grabbed that son of a gun and let him know you're going to do what Notre Dame football is all about.
Man, I like it. I like the positivity here, man. I really do. I feel good about it. And I feel like I'm being set up, man. You got to tell me it's okay to believe, because I'm genuinely excited for tomorrow. I think Notre Dame's offense is going to continue to pile up numbers. And I want to believe that defense is going to start growing and rounding into form and cutting back on some of the mistakes and getting it in the right direction. I really do, man. But I don't want to be let down. I'm wondering, I can't have this be a trap. I can't have this be a trap where right when you think Notre Dame's rounding into form, you get smacked in the face at home again. It can't be a trap. You got to be ready for this moment.
And that's what I feel like. I really feel, and this is why I don't try to get myself caught up so much in it, because I take Notre Dame's losses really bad. It ruins my day, it ruins my mood, it ruins the evening, you know what I mean? But then at the end of the day, this is football, guys. There's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser, you know what I mean? That decision, I can't tell you how to feel or not to feel, my boy. You have every right to doubt, because we've been let down in so many occasions. But I believe that this is where we rally. Like I told you before, we rally with this coach and we stand with our coach and we stand on business, and we understand that. I know that our head coach sees what we see and understands what we feel, that this is not going to be an easy trait. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you show these kids that, there's a big difference when you step up to play and you step on the plane with these type of games. You want to run with the big boys, you better talk and walk like a big boy. If not, boy, get your ass out of here. And that's what I really, truly believe. But on that aspect, sir, like, to be honest with you, is like, I just believe that Notre Dame has a purpose and there's a precise decision with the team where we're heading to. And if we want to get to where we want to get to, we can't take these games lightly, and we can't assume that it's an automatic win. You don't. But you do what you're supposed to. You control what you can control, and the outcome will be what the outcome's going to be, and that's going to be a Notre Dame victory.
Yeah, it's it's going to be interesting. Your back's against the wall. You got to win them all. And so we're going to see what's going to happen. So do you think Notre Dame covers the spread, wins by like 20? What are you expecting?
I really do. This is something that I've been contemplating back and forth. I really feel that Notre Dame shows up, our defense shows up, and it's a 52-10 game at the end.
Ooh, baby, man. Notre Dame piling up those numbers, my boy. I like that a lot. I like it a lot.
Absolutely, my boy. Hey, bro, look. Closed mouths don't feed nobody. And Notre Dame ain't gonna let some points go off the board, because we got to start showing some style points in order for us to get to where we want to get to. And that's semifinals, if not national championship, my boy. Stand on business, Notre Dame. Run up the score and run up whatever you got to do. And like I told my boss when they said, Louis, we need you to come in this week. And I said, I'll give you 6 tomorrow and I'll give you 16 on Sunday. Other than that, miss me with that, and go Irish. Love you, John. I got to go back to work.
Have a good one, buddy. Happy birthday. If it was yesterday, people are saying. I think I really mess with people when I have those two back to back. And I did it on purpose because people are like, isn't that the same guy? They're like long lost brothers, man. I'm telling you, there's so much overlap there. My boy. I'm going to get a t-shirt that just says, my boy. I like it. 417, what's going on?
Hey, Mom.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, how you doing, John?
I'm doing good.
Good. Hey, I went to the Notre Dame game last week, and I'm from Springfield. I talked to you last week around this time, and I said Notre Dame was going to show up and show out, and they 95% did, in my opinion. So,
yeah.
Good game.
So do you think Notre Dame's over the hump and they're rounding into form, and you expect more good things from the offense and the defense going to start tightening up, or like where do you think this is all trending to?
We're not clear yet, I can tell you that. But we are trending in the right direction. I feel our offense is going to be the best in America.
Ooh.
Because it's starting to show it. It's starting to show it. We got two badass running backs in the backfield. Poison. And they showed that against Arkansas. Yeah, you can say Arkansas is weak defense, but you know what? I feel like next week we play Boise. It's like, shut this down. Okay, well, don't worry, we're going to find an answer for that. So shut this down. Okay, running backs are need a break. Don't worry, we got wide receivers we can throw to. Malachi Fields is a beast. Faison is like the old he's like I'm going to say like Joey Gatherall, the jockey, just out there running around making plays. The Fable fans file out at halftime. So that's how I feel. I think Notre Dame's going to put up 60 this week, and I think our offense is going to do a little bit of the same thing again. We're not in the clear, John, but I feel like our defense is coming around.
Yeah, I need that to be true. That each week from here, they just show incremental improvement, tighten up some of those mistakes we've been seeing, just get better 1 week at a time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, like I said, like one caller said, I'm not looking at the playoffs, I'm looking at a game at a time. That's kind of how I am. Just show up, do your job, look good doing it, and then on the next game and do the same thing. Okay? Don't worry about playoffs. Like I say, it's not in your hands anymore. You just got to win your games. That's all you can do.
Yep. All you could do is win one more game per week, cross the weeks off the calendar, and see where you stack up at the end of it. Like the mission is very, very crystal clear. You just got to win one game a week and let disaster happen all around you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I just feel like Notre Dame's going to show up and show out again. I think they're kind of like getting that belief and that confidence. I mean, the defense is always going to be working. There's always going to be something they need to clean up. But, I really was impressed with the pass rush when I went to the football game. Getting in the back a little bit. Yeah, we gave up a play or two. But when we gave up those plays, we rose to the occasion. So as long as we rise to the occasion at the right times, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, it's yep. And you got a few unique tests here. Boise State's unique. NC State's going to try and muddy up the game, and then you have USC's offense coming to town. You got to get through those three, and then 10-2 becomes a real reality after the second break post USC.
Yep, sure does. It sure does. And I think, like you say, they've been here before, but Marcus Freeman said it best. Stop thinking about 2024. Stop thinking about last year. Okay, it's this year. All right, so let's start doing what we're supposed to do this year, and let's win our games. And before you know it, the pollsters will believe Notre Dame is worthy, which I believe they will, and we'll be right there.
Yep, that's the name of the game, bro. That's the name of the game. So I don't know. It's going to be really, really interesting. Anything else?
No, man. I just started talking and BS with you. It's my second time calling you. I had a good time the last time. I was happy that it worked out the way that I was hoping it worked out. And no, that's about it. I think Notre Dame's going to do their job. Just
this next weekend too as well.
I love it, man. Just get another win and keep it moving. Check it off the list. Hey, have a good Friday, man. Enjoy the game.
You too, man.
You guys are funny, man. Mark, that is really, really funny. 949 on the line. What's going on?
Hey, John, I'm walking around Sun City, Florida, amongst the elder, looking for a Boise State fan. Haven't found one.
Yeah, yeah, you're a long ways away from where they usually hang out, man. What do you make of the dynamic right now? I want to feel like Notre Dame's trending in the right direction, starting to settle into what they want to be this year. Do you feel that, or are you still on edge? Week to week, wait and see what you see. Like, where are you at with this?
Well, check me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Arkansas the most prolific offense in the SEC up until last week?
They were putting up a ton of numbers, and that quarterback was getting a lot of praise for the amount of offense he himself was generating. You could say their defense was bad because it was, but nobody can say Notre Dame's defense only looked good because their offense sucked coming in. You can't make that accusation.
Absolutely, and we held them to 13. If that bodes well for growth. I'm still all for getting rid of Ash, just because of what happened in the first two games. But the bottom line is, yeah, the offense is firing on all cylinders. The defense just has to get back to mediocre, and we're sitting well.
Yeah, I mean, the most frustrating part of all this is if Notre Dame's defense was even average, you would be undefeated right now. It didn't even have to be great. If the defense was even average, you would have not lost either one of those games, but you couldn't even just be mediocre.
Don't rub it in.
I know it hurts, but that's the reality. And that's the danger when you schedule two big time teams to open the year. There is danger there. You got to know what you have and have a good read on it. And we did not.
And here's my pause. Do we have the leadership that will keep this team rolling the right way? Last year, we had a ton of it and we lost it. Is there anybody stepping up this year? I think that's yet to be seen, but you've got guys that are stepping forward and with their play, but we also need those emotional leaders to keep the team on an emotional high.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and that was a question earlier in the year. You were like, okay, where's your leadership? And what are we doing here? And I want to feel like the defense is gaining confidence and is starting to kind of tighten up, but it's never going to be what we want because we want last year's defense, right? Like you want the number one unit or whatever. Like it isn't going to be that this year, but I want to feel like they're tightening things up though. I really do. I hope there's no big regression coming.
This will be a big test because they do have a pretty good offense.
Yeah.
Although we passed the test with a pretty good offense last week. And so just keep moving forward.
Yep. The mission is so clear. Like it's just 1 week at a time and you have to win and that's it. Like, and then you can't control anything else that's going to happen with this scoreboard watching and the record comparisons or whatever else. None of it matters if you lose another game. So it's just tunnel vision, win one at a time, and let the media types like me write articles and do YouTube videos about what could Notre Dame get in the playoff or not. I don't know.
Yep, that's it. That's all I got. I've got to get back in line, wrestle these geriatrics for my position in line at the Winn-Dixie to check out.
There you go. All right, do what you got to do, brother. We'll talk to you.
All right. God bless you. God bless everybody listening, and go Irish.
See ya. Dude, the guy's like a vagabond wandering around Florida. Every time he calls, he's in a different neighborhood doing something. Now he's at, what did he say he's at? The Winn-Dixie? What is that, a gas station in Florida? The Winn-Dixie or grocery store? What's a Winn-Dixie? Never been there. Never been to one. $5 holler from the SB Flood. One thing I'm not really looking forward to is the orange color popping from the Boise fan base, making the trek South Bend. Somebody said that they didn't think there was going to, they heard it didn't look like there was going to be a lot of Boise fans there. Listen, you guys, this is good and bad. It's annoying when opposing teams bring a large amount of their color into our stadium. It's also the biggest compliment in the world that Notre Dame is considered a destination that everybody wants to go to. Right? Like it's just kind of tough because you don't want a lot of these opposing fans, but when you talk to them and they all say, yeah, going to Notre Dame is on my list of things I want to see before I die, and I'm paying whatever it takes to go and fly into Midway or whatever we're doing and go. It's quite the compliment. It's quite the compliment. Like, so I don't know. And here's my gut feeling. I think there's going to actually be a little bit of juice in Notre Dame Stadium tomorrow. I think there's going to be a little bit of juice. I think the fans are feeling a little better on a little winning streak. They love what the offense is doing. You feel better about the defense. For an afternoon game in Notre Dame Stadium with this unique opponent that has a big brand-beating history, I think you're actually going to have a little juice in there tomorrow. And if the team could do some good things, I think that'll roll. That'll roll. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I feel like you're going to have a decent vibe tomorrow compared to some of these afternoon starts. I think it's going to be decent. The vibes are the best they've been since the build-up to Miami. I think people want to see Carr and the running backs and that offense and Fields. And then you're at least hopeful that the defense can do their part. So I don't know. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the show. We do have a few callers. I'm literally going to hang up and go to Best Buy and try and find another one of these cords. I think something is going to happen. Something's happening with the cord that connects I got to go get another cord for the post-game show tomorrow. Yeah, Publix is the one I'm used to in Florida. By where we have a place, I go to the Publix. I do feel like it's overpriced at the Publix. It feels like a classier Jewel, kind of like in the Chicago area. I don't know, but I feel they got a lot of good stuff in there, but I do feel like it's a little overpriced to me, the Publix, but they got pretty good stuff. It's usually real clean in there. Yeah, a lot of people at the Publix. Yeah, the price. Okay, so I'm not dreaming that I always feel like the prices are a little more at the Publix, but it's a little more like clean and tidy. It's not exactly, you think a Chicago Walmart's interesting? Go to a Florida Walmart, bro. Yeah, like I think it's rough going to a Chicago area Walmart. Ooh, go to a Florida one, son of a buck. People watching galore. All right, you guys, I love you. This afternoon, Jack Sullivan and myself are going to do a full breakdown. He's been breaking down all the Boise games. Him and I are going to do a preview for that, and it'll go up on Patreon later on this afternoon. And then, of course, after the game, come here, dial me up, let me know what you've heard and seen. Thanks, everybody, for calling. Thanks for the chats. Thanks for being here. I love this show. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the game.